All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the English call for New Beginnings in Hartstaal combined. It's the first combined call. We are still playing around with the Zoom schedule. We may consider changing the English call to a Monday provisionally, but we will advise you accordingly. It's always a struggle with so many other Zoom calls that you need to be on, and people that reserve certain time slots long ago. So we take that into consideration so that everybody can have a chance to be on all the calls that they want to be on. Just a few quick things. Let me put my book here next to me. The first challenge we had in the last week is people taking their clothes off about spelling discrepancies or things that is wrong. Denise is registering a huge amount of profiles. If a spelling mistake happens, it happens. We were told that very soon on Gift of Legacy we will be able to change our own details. So it's not a train smash. You work with that username for now. If your name is spelled wrong, work with that. We will get it fixed. We can't expect Benice now to contact individually for each profile that had a spelling error on to contact support. Support is very slow at this stage. They flooded with queries, so we're not gonna harass them more. We will at one or other stage be able to change our own details. Let me just get a pen so I can mark this off. So if you got queries, just make sure that you are aware of it and keep remembering it, and when we can change our own details, we will change it. I'm going to quickly do a screen share of the file. We now have a total of 229 people on the file. For the ones that's not been on the file or doesn't know where to find what, the second tab there is name list. That is where you can get the names of all the people that's on board, and the profiles. Obviously, the older ones got a few more profiles. Some people recently gifted a lot of dollars, and then they get more profiles. There's a total of 530 positions on the file. I'm just going to open up here quickly so you can see that. There's a total amount of positions that's currently on. 530 of the 4,096 that we're aiming for on the short term. And let's go to page 1. This is all the boards. Here's the legend name. There's a left guide and the right guide. Boulder 1, 2, 3, and 4. Gifter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. If your name in the gifter position is red, it means you're on a board. We are currently working on number 46. 45 is full. 46, we already know who needs to get in there. We need gifts to get them on the boards. Remember the basic system. You sponsor $300 on every bronze board and $600 on every silver. We're not so far yet that we'll have to worry too much about the gold. If you give $10 once off, don't expect us to load 3 or 4 or 5 profiles for you. On some of the other lineages, we've got committed positions where we let people take a monthly position. The same can happen here. I am going to try to convince a few people on that lineage to rather put their money as gifts available here. If you got $10 per month and you want to do it every month, every $10, 10 people get another person on board. We need to keep on getting money in. This thing can't run by itself. It can't run with only 6 or 7 people putting in all the gifts. On that, you'll see, I'll have to go back there. I closed too early. You will see that some boards is finished. Like number 58, 59, 60 is finished. 64, 65 is finished. 72, 73 is finished. There's reasons for that. Some of the legends are more inclined to sponsor more in. And then we'll finish their boards earlier because there's more sponsored positions available. But you must remember now the target is for everybody to have 16 profiles. We can't sponsor 16 profiles for everybody. That's not possible. Not at this stage. If the sponsor profiles is in the front start receiving more, then we can sponsor not only the 3 that the legend sponsor in on the bronze board or the 6 that he sponsors from the silver, but also what we can add on. So if a board is full, it's usually the legend that cooperated to sponsor more people in, or it is somebody that comes in with a huge amount of gifts, and then we will give him the option to be placed on a board where his flow is then going to be easier for him. We work with everybody if you work with us. Remember, we can't do this alone. We need people, we need gifts, and we need legends that work with us. So if you got some funds available on a monthly basis, make an arrangement with Bernice and get the gifts to her. She will then add up every $100. There is a separate account for that. Every $100 will go for another position. If you can take your own position every month, even better for the people that is fortunate enough to be able to do that. And then there were some people questioning why some boards are not moving. Because there's never a board that's not moving. You can see on the file, we are planning far ahead. And the execution of the plan can happen when there's funds available. We did work on a few boards up to the 80s because of the legends working with us, sponsoring more gifts in. So that is how it's going to work. Bernice got a very finely tuned system where, depending on which silver you go to, there's more opportunity on the previous bronze board. I'm going to give you an example. The silver legend is supposed to sponsor back $600. If you want to sacrifice $1,200, it's 6 more positions we can sponsor. Obviously, we are going to load a bronze board flowing to his silver board to make it easier. That's how it works. If you don't understand the numbers behind that, get a 7-layer chocolate cake, case of Coca-Cola, and arrange a time and come visit me so I can teach you about numbers. So no board is ever standing still. And if we work on a board that is later than the oldest open one, there's always a reason for that. Everything is transparent on the file. You can go see what's going on there. If you got a question, ask me or ask Bernice. Then we had a few issues of people who expected Bernice to explain new beginnings to them in the middle of the night. You can't expect everybody to work through the night. I like working at night time because not a lot of people send messages. I can focus on the work that I do. Sometimes I work till 1, sometimes till 4, sometimes I work till 7, and then I sleep during the morning. I can do whatever I want with my time. But do not expect Bernice to explain new beginnings to you at 11 o'clock at night. Go to the YouTube channel and go look at the videos. Everything is explained there from the start. And again, if you got any questions, before a Zoom call, send me the questions so that I can answer them in a Zoom call. It gets recorded, and then that answer can go out to everybody that may have the same question. So be courteous and be understanding that people need some time. I can't remember which night I sent Bernice a message. I'm going to be on calls till 11 o'clock. I'll speak to her in the morning from 8 till 11. Gift of Legacy is not the only thing I'm doing. I work on a lot of other platforms, not necessarily gifting. There's trading platforms and investment platforms and things that I work on. And sometimes people want to talk to me. That means for 3 hours, I'm sitting on 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 Zoom calls, and I'm not going to answer messages in that time. It is very unprofessional to sit and play on your phone while you're on a Zoom call. So understand that we are not working for you. We are working to give you the tools to get yourself into abundance and out of scarcity. But you have no right to expect anybody in the middle of the night to explain new beginnings to you. Go watch the recordings. Have some understanding. Some people need private time. You cannot expect Bernice to get up in the mornings and work till 12 o'clock each night. Sometimes during the day, you need to relax and make some tea and go sit under the tree, or you need to make some lunch, or just go relax a little bit on the couch. If people don't answer your messages, you must know by now, I am way behind on my messages. I'll get to them eventually, even if it takes me a year. I don't think I'll ever catch up on Telegram again. But I'm trying to clear the oldest 3 days every day. It doesn't always happen because phones start ringing and meetings take place and board placements need to be discussed. Remember, if we look at the board, we loaded a few boards on another part of the lineage yesterday. We're talking about Hartstaal now for the people on here that's only on Hartstaal. There's a lot of, if you split the Hartstaal lineage into 4, there's a lot of work on each lineage. But a few people started their own sub-lineage, like we did on all the other lineages that I work on. Why we like to do that? We'll take over a whole board, and then we'll let it lie for 6 or 7 or 8 weeks, and then we'll say, right, let's put my Stockveld people in here, and you'll spin the board once or twice. Now, the planning for a few profiles we loaded last night, the discussions around it takes half an hour. Now we need to get links out. Then we need to get people to register. I can't send a link out. I want to close the board and expect the person now to register tomorrow morning. I'll send a message. Can you register now? And then I want that photo of the board now. We want to spin the board. Some of the boards were in a situation where we could spin 3 times. Because the legends were very graciously sitting on silver and sponsoring all the positions in. That is the way that we work the numbers. Again, if you don't understand the numbers, come visit me. Who asked you where do I? You can visit me at my house or in my old workshop that I converted into a place to stay, Richard. I stay in Pretoria East, Boskop area. All right, so that is all I'm going to moan tonight, all that I'm going to moan about. Understand that we are doing what we do for the good of the community. There's been some horrendous attacks against me again sometimes in the week, or in the past 7 days. So be it. If I don't get attacked once a day, I know I'm doing something wrong. If I get attacked, I know I'm doing something right. But we'll sort those things out on its own good time. Don't stress about those things. Understand that we're here to help you, to give you the tools to get yourself out of scarcity. Right. Anybody wants to say something or want to ask any questions? Put up your hands, people. We still got a lot of time left. While you get your courage together to ask a question, there's a quick update on Bux. Bux informed us that he is in hospital. Some issues with stints that was put in a few years ago. We did open a prayer group for him on WhatsApp so that we don't flood the main group for Hartstaal on WhatsApp. So it's a separate prayer group. I am going to keep that group open. Once we prayed Bux through this challenge that he's got now, we will keep the group open, and once in a while I'll post a subject that we're going to pray for. Praying is very important, people. If you start praying for 6, 7 hours in a sequence where one pray for 10 minutes and the next one take over, that prayer becomes more and more powerful. It escalates. The power of the prayer escalates. So Bucks is fine. He's still alive. He posted a video this morning. He doesn't look good. Not that he ever looked good, but he looks alive. He looks alive. He made a video this morning for us. Right. Any questions? People, I can't do this on my own. If you don't have questions, what's the use of me doing these calls? Or must I start nominating people?
Hello,
Krista,
Captain.
hello, Krista. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. My only question is that is Hartstaal Afrikaans word or what does it mean?
Yeah, Hartstaal is an Afrikaans word. Hart is heart, your heart. And taal is language. So it's language of the heart.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
It was
you.
originally only for Afrikaans speaking people, but we have challenges with Afrikaans people. I'm not scared to say this. We are lazy and we like to judge people. So we also introduced a few people from other countries in there. It works a bit different as New Beginnings. On Hartstaal, you come in with $100 gift and we put you on a board and then you carry on from there. After the board split, Bernice look at the board and she will guide people to where we try to work from the oldest board, which is not always possible, as we work now in 4 lineages there. But basically, Hartstaal was originally for Afrikaans-speaking people, but I don't like to discriminate. Afrikaans is also not my first language, as English is also not my first language. But Bernice asked me to assist, and that's why I got involved in Hartstaal. The Hartstaal lineage and the New Beginnings lineage is very interesting. We flow to the same original inviters. The first three, the first two is two profiles that will sponsor in actually to our own disadvantage sometimes. And then the original profile for Hartstaal and New Beginnings is the same profile, which also going to sponsor in a lot. As it's it's already moving fast through the boards. The first two profiles is on platinum in the gifter position currently. So as they receive there, more funds will become available, but it's a lot of hard work on the bronze board to get those profiles that high up. So to answer your question, Hartstaal is language from the heart. Yeah, because Afrikaans people are very passionate about their language, although 90% of them can't even speak proper Afrikaans anymore. Good.
Okay, thank you.
Paula asked you, yes? Yeah, carry on.
Cheryl wrote in the chat that she thought it was Heart of Steel.
Okay, you broke up a little bit there. Just try to repeat yourself.
In the chat, Cheryl wrote that she thought it was Heart of Steel.
I'm busy going through the chat now. Paula asked, can we suggest someone to pray for? Paula, send me a message to add you to Bux's group. And then in that group, Bux specifically said in one voice note and in the video this morning that there's a lot of other people that needs prayer, and he did name people. If you want to add somebody, ask me to add you in the group, and then you can add anybody there. Shettleston, I thought it was heart if steel. Heart. No. The S must be with the heart. It's Hartstaal. It's actually one word, but it's about the language of the heart. Hartstaal. Yeah, we can even use it that way, but no, we're not going to do that. It's about the language. Okay, right. That's all in the chat. Anybody else that wants to say something? That wants to add something or ask anything? Silence. Right, then I'm going to finish up for tonight. I've got a lot of more work to do. People, just a quick thing on other platforms I'm working on. Because you see me on other platforms doesn't mean I'm not spending the required attention to Gift of Legacy. At least 12 hours of every day goes to Gift of Legacy. The trading that I do, it's a few minutes a day. It's 10 minutes, 20 minutes sometimes on some platforms. Stormgain, I sit and play during my break times. If I want to take a quick 20-minute break, I sit and trade on Stormgain. It's not affecting the time that I spend on Gift of Legacy. Any other platforms that I'm involved with, there's always a reason. Some of them I'm testing. Some of them have been going for a long time. I'm involved in a gifting community that's been running from 2003. Very small, not even 800,000 people yet after all this time. It doesn't take much of my attention, but I do oversee the basics and make sure that everything gets done properly. So if you see me on other platforms, doesn't mean I'm leaving Gift of Legacy. I love you people too much. Raquel asking, how do you determine who will give the 1,600 ones on silver? Raquel, clarify that question a bit more for me.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to work. That's why I didn't want to answer the question. Ask the question. You mentioned earlier, you said you were pushing the certain profiles that you know that will give the 1,600. I'm asking, how do you determine who's going to give what?
To determine which profiles go through.
Yes.
We work in sequence as they loaded on the system. Original profile goes first, and then the 2 invitees, and then their 4 invitees, and then their 8. Some profiles got 4 invitees. If you look at the leading profile of Hartstaal and New Beginnings, the same profile, it's got 4 invitees. So there's 2 lineages following that profile. So that means there's 2 separate lineages pushing towards the gold board, but we work in sequence. The oldest profile we try to go through first. Some people did fast track. It's up to them if they want to do that, but they must understand then that their people is not close to them. They're not going to follow immediately. So that's going to take time. But we work in sequence. If somebody sees a profile, or they peek to the gold board and they see there's a position, then we always discuss. If you look at somebody who's clever and sitting on a gold board, I'm not talking specifically about Hartstaal and New Beginnings now, and any of the lineages we're working on. If they're sitting as legend on a gold board, and one of their profiles, when they peak, is going to land on that board, it will be stupid to hold them back. They can just confirm themselves. So in that situation, we put people through to the next board or allow them to go through. There's no real benefit in that, but we cycle the board faster. When that legend then moves to the perpetual gold, we fought again Hartstaal, New Beginnings. We saw quite a few other lineages on our journey through the boards. We are seeing the Jade lineage falling on the boards that we're sitting at. I looked again today at a board where my original migrated profile is sitting as Boulder 1 on a silver board. Number 2 Boulder is a Dream Track profile. Number 3 Boulder is a Dream Cruise profile. 4 is a Caravan. The left guide is a DCP Spreadsheet A profile. The right guide is an Eagle profile. They all flow together. And there's a very good chance, if we play it right in a couple of months, that those boards will be combined and being pushed by Hartstaal and New Beginnings, and that those vehicles in turn push the Hartstaal and New Beginnings profiles through. The more profiles that, or the more lineages that flows to a board, the better it is for everybody. Then we can all work together. Right, let's see. Is there any... Oh, Telegram is busy tonight. Any other questions? Richard, when I peek on the next board, does it also count as removal from boards? No, Richard, it doesn't. Peek, as long as you don't place yourself on the board. The important thing is, do not place yourself on the board. When you go click peek, the red block comes up. Are you sure you want to peek? And then don't join the board. Just go have a look there. You will not be able to see anything else apart from the username of the people on there. Once you join the board and you need to be removed, that will count as removal. Okay.
Thank you, Captain.
Yeah, we peak frequently. There was one profile about 2 months ago where I wasn't ready to gift for the profile to somebody that I'm assisting with his profile. And for about 2 weeks, he showed the same board, but that board got filled, and there was a new legend. The guide moved up to legend. So then for about 5-6 weeks, that board was available till that board got filled. And eventually, when this guy had his gift together, he was not yet in legend on the previous board, but he started saving to go to the next board. We landed on a board where on the original board, the person that was a builder then moved up to guide and was sitting in legend. But it doesn't count as removal if you don't, as long as you don't click join. Right, any other questions? We got a few minutes left. Good. No other questions? Unmute yourself. Shout bye. Next call is Afrikaans Thursday at 6. General update call on the Dream projects, which includes all the platforms I'm working on. It's not cross recruiting. Will be Saturday at 1. Motivational call will be Sunday night at 7. Hopefully Andrew can be on. And then I'll if there's a change in the Zoom schedule that we change this call to a Monday, I will post a new schedule in the groups. Right, unmute. Shout bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Captain. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Mr. Potty.
Good night.
Nou, goeie